All right, everyone. So, in this video, we're going to talk about why I mainly don't like human nature. Um, at the end of the day, I don't know if this has to do with, something that's, nihilistic in nature. I think there's another word for it as well. I'm drawing a blank on. But at the end of the day, the reason why I don't like human beings is because we're such a flawed species. With dogs, for example, they're amazing. Unconditional love, loyalty, will never betray you. You could actually abuse a dog. Not that I have any experience, caveat, but you could abuse a dog and they'll still love you. At the end of the day, human beings are extremely transactional in our relationships. Anytime we find a partner, dating, friendships, it's all about extracting value from the other person. What value does this person provide to my life? Unconditional love, I believe that it doesn't exist in human relationships. Look at the divorce rate: 56% of marriages fail. And then, how many other of the marriages, the remaining, I think 44%, how many of those do you think are happily married? You know, I'll let you answer that question. So at the end of the day, humans humans were an extremely flawed species, right? Doing better than other people, outperforming them at work, being better looking than them, having a better looking partner than them. People don't like that. People don't like to see you do better than them. Even your closest friends don't like to see you making moves, making more money, gaining status in life, right? People don't like to see you on the come up. A lot of your closest friends and family, they'll like to see you on the decline. They like to see bad things happen to you. They secretly take pleasure in it. It makes them feel better about themselves. There isn't really, in my opinion, in human interactions, this, I don't know if godly is the word, but this pure vibration and frequency of people aligning on, no ego and just wanting what's best for each other, kind of a frequency of love per se. At the end of the day, people, they're very selfish, right? At the end of the day, Kim Kardashian, people like that, the hottest girls in society, you never see them falling in love with a McDonald's worker, right? It's always going to be the best option that they could find. Hypergamy. It's always going to be, especially a woman with a lot of options, a guy that has, the extreme looks, status, or resources, right? It's all about extracting value, survival of the fittest, right? Darwinism. That's what it boils down to in life. And unfortunately, I've tried to ignore these things, not really focus on them. Oh, not everyone's like that. I don't have to be like that. But I've come to the realization that that's how the world is. And as a result, right, I view life almost like a video game, almost like Call of Duty, right? So unfortunately, I need to level the playing field, right? If everyone's hacking on Bog in this game, right? Well, maybe I should hack, right? I'm not going to win if I just play normal. So at the end of the day, what I realize is I view relationships a little more transactionally as well. What are they bringing to the table? How do they make me look to other people? I had a friend that was very loyal to me. He was awkward, extremely obese, wasn't working on himself, and I decided, and I would introduce him to other males that I would meet outside. And then when we would hit the nightlife, I would interact with really hot chicks. One of them was going really good. I could talk stories about this another time. Many times it was going really good. And I'd introduce them, hey, this is my buddy. And I could see that their im- impression of me went down. They basically didn't want to hang out with me anymore. And I decided, you know what? I would talk to people about this. What should I do? Oh, he's a loyal friend. They're just bad people. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to be confident either way. And, I feel like I'm a relatively handsome guy, bring a lot to the table, pretty smooth talking to the ladies on occasion. And I decided I'm going to be confident either way, introducing my buddy. And he's been there for me. And after about 10 times, literally, of introducing him to people, him being weird, not dressed the best, overweight, I came to the realization that this guy's blocking me from living my best life. I can't introduce him to other people. I can't introduce him to girls. And unfortunately, I made the decision to end that friendship. and to find people that were more on my level, that made me quote unquote look good. Right? When I make friends now, I'm focused on how did they make me look at a surface level, um, within a 3-second interaction. Are they awkward at all? Can they talk to anyone? Can they talk to hot girls? Do they dress well? Do they carry themselves well? That's the only people I'm willing to be friends with now, because I've seen that how it negatively impacts me from progressing in my life, the people that I affiliate with and the judgments that they lay on me. Humans, especially, I feel like as society evolves and evolves, and as the decades go on, it's just becoming even worse and worse and worse. People don't value the sanctity of marriage anymore. People don't value purity anymore. They don't value um, many things that I feel like are positive attributes. What people value now is superficiality, ego, um, money, gaining status, things like that. And human beings, they're one of the only species where there's just so much of these politicking in these games. I mean, look at the average corporate office, and I'm going to make a lot of videos about my thoughts on office politics and things like that in the corporate world. But look at the average corporate office, the amount of BS, politics, conniving, backstabbing. If you get promoted, and I've been through this example I'm about to say, if you've been promoted, how your closest office friends, right? They're looking at you sideways, they're jealous. Your advancement is their decline, right? And you know, it's just really unfortunate. It's really depressing, just seeing how the world interacts with other people. An example that I'll give as well is, I definitely growing up, I was third in the world in Call of Duty in my teenage years and early 20s. And I was a video game loser incel. I saw how women reacted to me. Everyone wanted to be my friend on video games, right? Everyone wanted to join my clan, wanted to be on my team. Um, and I had a lot of status online. But the second I logged out and walked in to the real world, no one gave a shit about me. And so what I decided to do is I quit Call of Duty and I decided to treat life like a video game and level up. So I saw how women reacted to me when I was an absolute loser, pasty, skinny, acne all over my face. Then I went on an extreme metamorphosis in the gym, became addicted to the gym, tanning, eating right, things like that, and improve my style. And I saw how now women were reacting to me, even women from the past that weren't into me from high school now were showing me interest. I'm like, oh, now I'm good enough, right? It's all about the superficiality. Then, long story short, I went through a surgery, couldn't work out for a while, lost all of my muscle. And then basically, I lost my motivation to go to the gym, was going through a hard period in my life in my early 20s. So I literally went from, in my opinion, being not attractive to attractive to not attractive again. And then I went through years and years of hard work and discipline. And now I feel like I'm attractive again. So I literally saw up, down, up, down. I saw many times the way women interacted with me, the way men would value my opinion more based on how you look, how you're dressed. Um, I was invisible to a lot of the girls that I was interested in, during those low, you know, valleys in my life as opposed to the peaks. And it just shows you the superficial way that people interact with you, right? Walk out, have a Rolex on your wrist, and just see the way that people will respect you more. You might also garner more hate from people that are insecure or feel like they can't get that. It's just such a transactional world we live in. Don't even get me started on the most desirable woman in the world and their mating strategies and hypergamy, and what they're really attracted to in a guy. Dominance, ability to provide resources and protection, and women are absolutely obsessed, kind of like how I mentioned earlier in this video. But women are absolutely obsessed with how the people they affiliate with, how they're perceived by others, their social status. Um, so, anyways, guys, I'm going to end the video here. These are just a few of my thoughts regarding why I don't really like human nature. After many years in the world, it's really hard to overlook a lot of these brutal truths and these hard pills to swallow in life. And it's pretty depressing at the end of the day. So, anyways, I'm going to sign out and onwards and upwards.